I genuinely feel so overwhelmed, and I feel like if a lot of Nigerians come out and start speaking on what we are actually going through, then maybe changes will be made in the government. Don't you guys think? And this video, I just want to say to our president, I don't know if there have been any other president that is terrible, but you are such a terrible president. It is so hard. So I'm coming from the supermarket where I went to get foodstuffs, and everything has gone up again.
This is a statement of fact. Anyone denying it is either playing politics or narratives. The lady even using the word terrible sounds patronizing. Yes, it doesn't fully express what Nigerians go through on a daily when they go to the market for grocery shopping. An orange costs 200 naira for one. Just one orange. What about an apple? About 800 naira for one. So forget about narratives. Nigerians know what they see in the market. Prices might go down momentarily, but be rest assured when you come back the next day or in 2 days time, you must witness an increase. That's how the market is at the moment. Because of what? The current administration and all their failed policies. But like you know, since Tinubu came to power, people no longer have freedom of expression. Once anyone criticizes the government, the person is hounded, intimidated, even in many cases, charged to court. Yes, just for expressing themselves. This lady is a copper serving in Lagos State. Immediately she made this video and posted it on TikTok, the authorities started hounding her. One of her supervisors at the NYSC even told her to quickly delete the video. Can you imagine? Is there anything wrong in what she said? Like always, they will always want to intimidate people to show them that they have authority over them. Instead of just ignoring the lady, they have now made the lady very popular, made people to share the video as wide as possible, and reminding Nigerians that despite the fact that they are keeping quiet, they are not criticizing the government, they are not saying what they experience on a daily, the fact remains that the problems exist. So like always, once they intimidate people as if we are in a military regime, as if this is no longer a democracy, it always turns counterproductive. They want to shut someone up for criticizing the government. Now they have made the statement very popular. Even people abroad, not even living in Nigeria, have seen what is going on in Nigeria. Instead of using all this energy to address the issues, address the problem, they won't do that. They want to beat a child and stop the child from crying. You can't eat your cake and have it. Look at Wike in FCT. He's spending 39 billion naira to renovate the International Conference Center in Abuja. This International Conference Center was built in the 90s. If you check the contract sum, it might be around the same 39 billion naira. How do you spend such humongous amount of money for renovation when there are many other areas, many other sectors where they can invest this money? Look at all the thousands of IDPs living in and around Abuja. The authorities pretend as if they don't see them. What about the people that demolished their homes and shanties, people living in settlements near the main city? All these people have nowhere to go today. They've all been sacked from their temporary homes. Now they are going to spend 39 billion renovating just one center. Just like when they spent 21 billion naira renovating the vice president's mansion. He's still yet to live in this mansion. It wasn't an emergency, like feeding is an emergency for many Nigerians today. Like paying of house rent, transportation is an emergency for many workers in Nigeria today. Despite the fact that they increased the minimum wage is still the lowest since the Fourth Republic. Yes, look at this. Starting from year 2000, when Obasanjo increased the minimum wage to about 5,000 naira, you can see the dollar equivalent. Even when minimum wage was 18,000 naira, the dollar equivalent is far higher compared to what they are paying today. The minimum wage was increased to 70,000 naira by the federal government with a promise to NLC that the price of petrol will never be increased for about 1 year or 2 years. In fact, they promised it won't increase until they hold another meeting with Labour. Here we are, just a few weeks after the minimum wage deal was made, petrol jumped to over 1,000 naira. So let them be deceiving themselves, thinking they are deceiving Nigerians. No, they are spreading the narrative that food prices are dropping when it's only just maize. They are selling off the maize because it's a new planting season, and as well beans dropped a little bit, but all the other food items, rice, name them, they are still very high. 50 kg bag of rice is still being sold for above 100,000 naira in the market. This is verifiable. Go into any market, wherever you live around the city, there must be a small market nearby. Go to that market and see for yourself. It's not by saying this is happening, that is happening. No. There is empirical evidence. Nigerians can verify this one. This is not about figures or trying to tell us this is what this person is saying about us. This foreign institution is saying it will work. Foreign policies will do this. No. It is something Nigerians can just take a few minutes walk and ask the price of goods. The truth is, many young Nigerians under 30 years have never enjoyed a good life. When stories about Nigeria's golden years are told, they think it is fiction. Also, many of them have never traveled abroad to see how countries work, to see how clean and serene their environment is. That's why they settle for less. When the government does something which is part of their responsibility, they troop out and start hailing them and start rejoicing as if they did something extraordinary. Something like provision of water, drinking water, that Nigerians used to enjoy back in the 70s and 80s before neglect took over many of the water works. And today, private individuals now have to drill boreholes to provide the water for themselves. This is government responsibility. How about electricity? It is also the responsibility of the government. No country can develop, can move from low income to high income without constant, reliable electricity. It has never happened. That of Nigeria will not be different. And under this administration, electricity supply has become worse, despite the fact that they increased the electricity tariff. So it's not always about IGR. They keep shouting IGR as if it's an achievement. What have you done with the one you earned? Let's assume they were earning 1 trillion. The first year he came to power. Now they have doubled it. What did they achieve? Has it reflected on the lives of Nigerians? Absolutely not. Nigerians have become poorer despite the fact that they are earning more IGR.
It is crazy. Like, why are things so expensive? And let's not even Lagos stinks. Lagos smells like if you say, okay, I want to take a walk, I'm depressed, let me just take a walk, you can't even take a walk. Like, the place smells like crazy. Why does an entire state smell like this? And what is the government doing about the bad smell?
Another statement of fact: if it is not clogged waterways or gutters, it will be refuse dumps around the neighborhood. The massive IGR in Lagos has never translated to a better life for the residents. And it will surprise you when you go to other cities around the world where they even earn less IGR than Lagos. They provide better services for the residents, unlike in Lagos where they always shout IGR, IGR. When you start looking at the services they provide, they are virtually non-existent. They are always interested in making more money. But what do they do with all this money? We all know it ends up in the pockets of politicians. Lagos has a terrain problem which is not anyone's making. Because of the flat terrain in Lagos, virtually all waterways and gutters are stagnant. They are not moving at all, and the government is not even helping matters. When they award contracts, this is a government contract awarded to a contractor. You see the contractor building gutters that are too high. In fact, they virtually place these gutters on the surface, on the level ground where buildings have already been constructed. They place a gutter and it starts from there to get high. They will just sandfill the road, rendering all the nearby buildings virtually uninhabitable because of flooding. On the other hand, they are supposed to make these gutters very wide in places where they can't make them very deep because they connect to canals that are already very shallow. If they are too deep, they cannot empty into shallow canals. Of course, most of the canals are supposed to be dredged at least once in a year. Yes, before every rainy season, they are supposed to dredge all major canals that empty into the Lagos Lagoon and the Atlantic Ocean. Also, all the secondary canals inside city centers are supposed to be dredged and cemented. They are supposed to pour concrete floor everywhere, and it must be wide enough, at least to the limit of the canal, to be able to accommodate more water. The reason they have to dredge this is so that they can slant it a little bit, they can angle it, so that gravity will aid in evacuating the water whenever it rains or even on normal usage. After they fix the secondary canals, they can now focus on the primary canals that empty into the lagoon or the Atlantic Ocean. They have to widen them. In any case that they see that water might not efficiently empty into the lagoon, they can construct massive valves to make sure that water never flows back. This is how they fight flooding in the Netherlands. They are even sitting lower than Lagos. So it's just inefficiency and incompetence. They don't know what to do about it. That's why everywhere you go, you see stagnant waters in gutters and waterways. These are wastewater coming from homes. Once they spend a few hours in these gutters, they start to stink. So they must find a solution to see that these waterways keep moving. They must keep them moving. If it's impossible to construct it in this manner, they can start using pumps. Yes, there are industrial pumps that can pump these waters into the lagoon. In many parts of Europe, they use industrial pumps to evacuate water in situations where they cannot use gravity or other methods to evacuate the water. Now, on waste disposal, despite the fact that Loma has increased their fees substantially the past few years, they still come for waste evacuation once in a week. All these contribute to the stench around neighborhoods in Lagos. Under normal circumstances, they are supposed to be evacuating the waste every morning. That way, nothing has started to decompose. There wouldn't be stench around the neighborhood. But the way they conduct the waste disposal, they come once in a week. While they are evacuating the waste, there is stench all around the neighborhood, coming from the vehicle, coming from the containers. Everywhere is just filled with stench. Yes, they might be doing it because of the high cost of diesel, but they need to find other ways. It is service they are providing. IGR has never been a measure of development. How developed you are speaks for itself. When your health services are top-notch, when your environment looks very clean, everywhere is serene, everything about your development, including, most importantly, human development. All these are what matter. Not we have the highest IGR, we met this target, we met that, we are the richest city, we are this, that. No. When people that hear about Lagos or other cities in Nigeria, they've been longing to visit and they visit and see the environment, they might never come back. So people in government must understand that they are there to serve the people. As such, they must be ready to entertain criticisms. Yes, when they are criticized, they must learn something from it so as to improve the services they deliver to the people. Instead of going thuggish mode and start shouting back at the people, criticizing them, people they are supposed to be serving, they start intimidating and doing all sorts of things. It shows that they have something to hide. If they are truly there to serve the people, they must be ready to entertain criticisms from the people they are serving. That's how it should work. Thanks for watching.